What's up everybody, got your Sage here and welcome to another video. This is going to be what if Deku had Sunshine part 2. So I believe I left off at the entrance exam. So about 2 weeks pass and Deku is accepted. Now Deku goes to school and he enters the classroom 1A as people are just looking at him. They just see this tall, buff man walking in as they're just thinking, is this guy a pro hero? As they just realize is the person who's got the highest on the physical tests of the entrance exam. As they all try to crowd him, as Deku just goes to his seat as Suyu and the others are trying to ask what his quirk is. Suyu just asks what his quirk is and he just replies that it's sunshine and moonlight. As she's confused as he asks him to explain further, he just tells her that basically the brighter the sun shines, the stronger it gets, and the brighter the moon shines, the stronger the moon light shines, the stronger it gets. And it's not particularly, the moon doesn't have to be particularly out. Basically the moon absorbs solar power from the sun, basically diverting it as if I don't know how to explain this, but basically how it's supposed to work is the moon absorbs the sun solar energy as it reflects to the ocean and the ocean reflects to the sky, basically empowering him. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I'm gonna do it. So Deku, but if the moon does shine, he gets stronger than how he would without the moon. Just putting that in there. So they're basically, huh? Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So basically, they they're saying that that's a strong quirk, as Deku just replies them that of course it is. It is the strongest quirk. As they're just like, okay, but they're pretty sure some people have stronger quirks. I'll get it stronger by the day and also at night. Does feel nice. It does sound nice. As Deku just turned saying that, where's the teacher? As they're just like, oh, we don't know. As they go about their daily talk, as the teacher just comes out telling them to shut up. It takes quite a while for them to shut up, but as the teacher just says, Aizawa just says that it took too long for them to shut up and they'll have to correct this. As he gets out of his sleeping bag, as he tells them that they're going to have a pork comprehension test, they're complaining that that what about the ceremony, as Aizawa just tells them that they're not going to be attending. They're shouting that that's not fair, and Aizawa is just like, he doesn't care, go get dressed and meet him outside. As he presents their gym wear, Deku puts his gym wear on. Basically the gym wear is elastic because that's how Deku told them to design it. As he comes out, everybody's just saying this stuff. We're going to go to the locker room. Basically, what's his name? Kirishima is asking Deku how did he get so buff, and he's just telling him that he did work out, but since he got his quirk, His quirk basically boosts his physical appearance, making him this buff. It's like that's awesome. As Bakugo just like, phew, whatever. He used to be a quirkless nobody just before he got his quirk. As Deku's like, what did you say? As Bakugo does like nothing. As Bakugo is kind of scared of Deku since he got a beating from him the, during the end of middle school. So he doesn't want no beef with him. So Aizawa hands Deku the ball, telling him to throw it as far as he can, and Deku just looks at Aizawa, telling him, "Is it with his quirk or without his quirk?" No, he doesn't. He doesn't say that because his quirk is always turned on. As he takes the ball, he cocks his hand back and he's about to throw it, as Aizawa just tries to erase his quirk. As Deku does throw the ball, and he gets about hmm, I should have thought about this. He gets about 10,000 meters. That seems accurate. He throws this and is like, I could have gone further, but that's all he needs. As Aizawa is just shocked, like, how is he not able to cancel his quirk? As Deku just basically telling him that it's more of a transformation quirk. As I was just like, oh, okay, that seems to be it. Seeing as he's this buff. As the rest of the test goes on, he doesn't. He gets top scores on most of them, apart from the speed speed test. We haven't seen us gonna perform any speed type of. We haven't seen us gonna speed yet. So I'm going to say he loses to Ida. Not by much, but he still loses to Ida. As we cut to as Aizawa doesn't expel anyone. Just by the way, we cut to the heroes versus villains. Now it's going to be Bakugo and Todoroki. Todoroki? No, it's going to be Bakugo and Ida. And Deku. Hmm, hmm. Uh, Deku and Momo. No? How about Deku and Ochako? Just Deku and Ochako. Normal stuff. As Ochako's asking Deku what their plan is, how are they going to attack, Deku just tells her that she should leave it all to him. He's going to take them out. As he's like, she's not very sure that's a good idea, as he's going to be facing the second most strongest person in their class. They should at least come up with a plan. As Deku just turns and reassures her that there's no need. He's going to take care of this. As they they walk into the the building, Deku doesn't have his axe as he left it at home, seeing that there's no need for him to bring an axe to school all the time. As he walks in, basically Bakugo is doing what he did in Canon, trying to look for Deku. Basically trying to get revenge. As he just turned the corner and blasted Deku with an explosion. Deku just dusting it off, saying, I knew you'd come through that. As Bakugo is just like, we have a score to settle, Deku. As Deku is just like, you shouldn't call me by that name. You do know my name, Bakugo. As Bakugo is just like, I don't care. You used to be a useless nerd. How do you get so powerful? As Deku's just like, you don't need to know, Bakugo. Besides, I'm going to end this rather quickly. As Bakugo gets furious hearing this, saying that he's looking down on him as he charges him with an explosion. Deku's just looking at him saying, what's all this? Is that all you got? As he punches Bakugo, sending him flying straight out of the building. As Bakugo can barely stand up, saying, what the hell was that? Deku's just saying, oh, I lightly tapped you and you're already outside. How disappointing. As Bakugo gets fierce and basically is running at him with an explosion. He tries an Hauser impact as Deku just dusts it off, saying that was quite ticklish. As Bakugo points out his gauntlet and pulls the pin, saying this should do it. As the full explosion hits Deku and hits part of the building, exposing it. As Bakugo's like, I got him. As Oma is trying to look whether he actually got Deku, they just see the smoke clear and Deku is blocking with one hand, saying that was quite dangerous. He could have burnt off his clothes, saying that he already burnt some off, but he doesn't want to be walking naked as his top shirt is blown off. As they just shout saying, what happened? Bakugo is just telling Deku that that's impossible. He hit him with the strongest attack. He should be dead. Deku's just like, that was the strongest attack. Well, he should have expected it from a weakling. As Bakugo is just like, weakling, I used to beat you when we were in middle school. As Deku's just like, yeah, I know, but that was in middle school. This is now. Now it's my turn to start beating you, Bakugo. As Bakugo gets furious and just goes in, not even caring about holding back anymore. Cause usually when Bakugo uses explosion that's past his limits, he breaks a couple of his bones. So he doesn't care anymore and starts using its explosion willy-nilly. As Deku's just tanking all of them, telling him that he can't win and he should give up before things get ugly. Bakugo's getting tired, saying he will never give up and he will beat him. He's just a quirkless loser. As Deku just grabs his head and smashes it to the ground, telling him that that was before. He should let go of the past. If not, it will be a rude awakening for him. Finding him, and as he tells him that he's just going to leave him in the dust if he doesn't wake up. As Bakugo is just like, he'll never accept him, because he's always going to be a quirkless loser. As Deku's just like, dude, I'm beating you right now. How am I a quirkless loser? As Bakugo's tearing up, just blowing him with explosions, Deku just smashes him to the ground once again, and again, and again, until Bakugo starts to fade and lose consciousness, as he dusts his hand off saying, wow, that was quite weird. He kind of felt like he was babysitting. As he turns saying, he might really be a good babysitter. As he sees Ida through the exposed part of the building, and he sees the bomb, and he's like, that was quite easier than I thought. As he jumps up straight to the top building and top level of the building, he enters. As he sees Ida with the bomb, he's just like, you should give up. You know you cannot beat me. As Ida is going on with his villain act, as he say, never. I am a villain now, and I will beat you, you hero. As he goes in with a reciprocal burst, trying to kick Deku. Deku just catching this, tossing him aside, saying, you're not worth fighting. Get stronger, then I will take you seriously. As he's walking towards the bomb, he's just getting mad, seeing his pride broken. As he runs towards Deku, again with a reciprocal burst, trying to kick Deku. Deku's just tanking this, and basically when he's about to reach the bomb, he just grabs Ida's legs, smashes, basically Hawk smashes him to the ground, if you get what I mean. Basically telling you that that was quite annoying, seeing as it was like an insect, and he should learn his place. As he touches the bomb, as All Might declares the winner. Now, the rest of the fight goes similar, so I'm not going to talk about it. So we go to the hero versus, no, sorry, to the USJ. Yeah. So they're on the bus they're as people are crowding over Deku again, asking him how strong can he get during the day and night. As Deku's never really used the one mode, as he's just trying to hold in the power. As Deku just tells them that he doesn't really know, he hasn't used his full power yet. He's always had it on a leash. Basically, he doesn't have control over it. And during the day, if he had his full power, he'd probably melt everyone away. As they're just like, what do you mean? But as he tells them that because of how his quirk works, his body is giving out heat, and the brighter the sun shines, the more heat he absorbs and gives out. Basically, he's like a solar battery. As they're just like, so you stockpile solar energy, and he's just telling that something like that, and you stockpile moonlight energy, and he's like, yeah. And they just ask him, what does the moonlight part does? Since the sunlight seems to gives off heat, what does the moonlight does? As he's just looking like he hasn't really tested it yet. He doesn't really know, because the way his moonlight ability works is going tracing it back to his mom and dad. His mom basically has not telekinesis but a kind of quirk that absorbs energy, but on a smaller scale, and his father has fire breathing, but not just any fire breathing. It's somewhat like Endeavor and Dobby with their blue flames, but his father blue flames turns things to ice, while his red flames turn things, well, burns things. So he doesn't know what his, well, Moonsight does, because he hasn't really used it like what is used like his son's side, as he just tells them that he doesn't know and he'll figure that out. Now, they reach the place, they reach the USJ. As they enter, they meet 13 as she goes off with a speech about how quirks are dangerous if in the wrong hands or used wrongly. As soon as she gives off a speech, she's interrupted by the groups of by the League of Villains. They come out saying that they're the League, as a bunch of villains come out, and Shigaraki and Kurogiri are the last. They basically tell them that they are the League of Villains and they're here to kill All Might. As Aizawa just tells the students to get out of here and that he'll try to hold them off. And he tells Deku to take care of those that cannot fight. As Deku was about to enter the fray, Aizawa jumps off, telling that they should get out of there now, as Shigaraki tells Kurogiri to split them up. Shigaraki does do this, and as soon as they split them up, Deku finds himself falling as he tries to balance himself, and he summons a cruel sun below him as he's floating on it, as he's standing on it, and he sees Suyu and Mineta as Suyu grabs Mineta and throws him on the boat as she gets on the boat. As Deku's just thinking that they are alright, he's looking at the battlefield, seeing Aizawa taking care of the villains, and he looks and finds out that people are scattered to other rescue situations. As he's thinking that they must not know their quirk, as he's like so as he's thinking that so they're just a ragtag group of people, seeing as they're not fully organized yet. As he tells Suyu and Mineta if they're okay, they're just saying yes. As he looks down and he sees some villains heading towards the boats. He then turns and tells Suyu and Mineta to get out of the boat and try to get to shore. As Suyu basically asks why, he tells them that there is a group of villains coming towards them. As they do look and see them, basically they're asking how would they take care of this. He basically tells them that they should get off the boat, then he would take care of it. As Suyu grabs Mineta and jumps, basically she's out of the clear, and he just creates another cool sun and launches it to the water down below as he uses Pride Flare, evaporating all the water in that place, knocking the villains out with the amount of heat his croissant was generating. As he flies back to where the action is, seeing Kurogiri and Shigaraki as he sends his croissant that he was floating on to them, as he jumps down, creating a small crater below him. As soon as he does this, a puddle appears and his croissant is sent right back at him. As he punches the croissant, exploding it, as he just comes out of the dust saying, "So you can teleport." I see. As he dusts himself off, basically, as he puts his hand out saying, "Well, I have to end this quick." As Rita basically comes flying in, as he grabs it, telling him that they're going to be facing him now. And we cut back to a flashback. Basically, when Deku was training with Rita, he was able to enter somewhat of a mindscape where he sees a giant sun and some parts of the moon. Basically, that is how much power Rita have been absorbing over the years, and that's how much power Rita absorbed when he was in the one mode. Uh, During that time when he was reevaluating his power and how much she has absorbed over the time. And in that mindscape, he has been able to somewhat see the memories of the past user, basically seeing Eskimo's memory, as he now knows of the seven deadly sins and knows of Eskimo's sin, which is that of the sin of pride. As we cut back to the fight, as Deku tells them they're going to be facing one, they're going to be facing the sin of pride, Izuku. Basically, Deku has been training himself to carry the legacy of Escanor, basically saying that it's the kind of power that he passed on to him. And so Shigaraki tells Kurogiri to call and bring the normal. As a portal opens and the normal comes out, Deku's like, what is that creature? As Shigaraki tells him that that creature was made to kill All Might. As Deku just like, As Deku's thinking like, meant to kill All Might, then it must be very strong. As he just tells them that it might have been made to kill All Might, but such a creature cannot kill him. As Shigaraki is just telling him that that's quite arrogant of him. As he just tells him that no, it's not arrogance, it's pride. And such a thing meant to kill All Might cannot possibly kill him, for he's far stronger than All Might. As he just swings his axe down, as the normal is cut in half, as he starts laughing, telling him that was that the best it can do. As he looks down, seeing that the normal is regenerating, so you do have some special ability. As Shigaraki starts explaining that he has shock absorption, regeneration, and super strength. I think super strength and muscle augmentation. I'm pretty sure super strength. As Deku is just thinking, like, so that's why you were cocky and saying that it was meant to kill All Might. But as you he puts the axe on his shoulder like in the picture. He just says, that's still not enough to kill me. As Shigaraki is just scratching his neck saying, who is this kid? How is he so powerful? He basically took down the normal one hit. As he Deku decides to wait for the normal to get up, saying since it can regenerate, he's going to find a threshold to how long it can regenerate. So nothing can regenerate forever. You'll just have to beat it down, simply to a point where it can not regenerate any further. As the normal gets up, basically trying to attack Deku. Deku does drop his axe, saying he hasn't had fun in a while. It might be fun to face this creature, and he can go all out seeing that this creature isn't human. As it's a fist fight, As the normal goes in for a right punch, hitting Deku and causing him to spit out blood. Deku retaliates with his own punch, as the normal somewhat uses his shock absorption, but it's not enough. As the normal starts to bleed from the mouth, as Deku goes for a right uppercut, basically sending the normal flying. As the normal gets up, charging towards Deku with a left hook. Deku blocking this and going for a right. As he hits the normal in the gut, as you can see the normal's muscle starts to vibrate, basically expanding. As the normal and Deku are going on somewhat of a fist fight, as he did with All Might in canon. Basically, Deku's going on a fist fight and he's keeping track on the time, saying that it's almost noon, and any he doesn't want his power to go out of control, so he's thinking on how to end this quickly. As he punches the normal right in the right in the face, as the normal punches him right back, somewhat sending him flying. He's in the air as the normal jumps up, smacking him back down. Now, as the normal does this, Deku has been growing and growing and growing. Basically, he's almost around this size. No, somewhat weaker than this. He's a bit buffer than this, but he's not as buff as this, as it's almost 12. As Deku's thinking he can't slash it, since he can just regenerate, and its regenerative factor is quite strong. As he's thinking this, the normal's attacking him, giving punches and knees him, and he continues to knees him. He kicks Deku straight to the wall, as Deku's just laying there, trying to think. He's almost time. It's almost noon. As Deku's just thinking, he could just burn him away, but with the state he is right now, he might just burn the whole USJ. In fact, almost the entire city. As he's thinking this, Deku's giving off heat. The normal doesn't realize this as he continues to punch Deku. As Deku's trying to think, it's 12, it's noon, as Deku is in the one mode. The normal's been punching Deku and there's a lot of dust, as the normal tries to punch Deku again, as Deku just grabs it and breaks the normal's arm. As the dust settles and they just see this huge man with base with heat radiating off of him, as he just grabs the normal by the head, saying such an annoying insect, as he breaks and removes the normal's head, basically squishing it. As he turns to Shigaraki and Kurogiri, who are just terrified, seeing this huge man just killing the normal in an instant. This deck was just like, I seem to have had a little bit too much fun and forgotten about noon. As he summons Rita, as Rita goes flying towards him, as he's trying to pour all his energy into Rita, Rita can't absorb all of it, as he's still in the one mode, and he's just like, Ah, seems I can't divert all my energy into Rita. Seems I'll have to go somewhere else. As he's about to go somewhere else, as the normal somewhat regenerating, standing up, like so. You can regenerate from something like that. Quite an annoying pest indeed. As normal regenerating its head, as Deku just turns and brings his hand up, saying divine sword, Izuku. I know it's divine sword Escanor, so I'm going to say it's divine sword Izuku. As he slices normal, basically slicing space and time itself. He slices the normal and half the USJ, slicing the as the slash basically slices whatever it's in front of it. As the normal catches flames, as it starts burning, as Stefan is just like, I would like to see you regenerate from that. As he turns his attention to Kurogiri and Shigaraki, saying, so, how do I deal with both of you? As Shigaraki is about to run up to him, Kurogiri just teleported him. Both him and Shigaraki, saying that it's too dangerous to face someone like him. He might be stronger than All Might with the amount of power he's displayed. As as Suyu is trying to talk to him, what's going on, Deku just telling her not to near him. He might burn her. As All Might comes busting through the door, saying, I am here. As he sees Deku just this huge form is taller than All Might. As All Might, for the first time, is looking up at someone, saying, young Midoriya, how, as Deku just tells him that it's part of his quirk, and that he has to go somewhere to release this amount of energy, at least to wait it out. As All Might feels this intense heat and jumps back, saying, yes, this is my power. He basically burns anything. Quite powerful. Basically, he has the power of the sun at his fingertips. As All Might's just thinking, he definitely doesn't need all for and one for all. Seeing the amount of power he has, even if he does accept it, he's going to be too strong. Saying that he'll have to find a new successor. Someone with courage. And Deku just turns around and jumps off. Basically going to the cave he once was, where Rita was, where Rita was before he found it, trying to control this power. Alright guys, this is where I'm going to stop, and I will see you on the next one.